We are on the road to Judgment Day 2004, and we have kicking off April. Happy April Fools! This is actually our second Road to that has an April Fools episode. I just realized that the
Yep.
Road to Backlash 2002 had an April Fools episode, and we have an April Fools episode here. And in both cases, the April Fools episode end with segments main eventing the show. I wonder, well, who's the guy? Who's the guy from that April 2002 Raw, April 1st, 2002 Raw? We were reading his review, and he was like, "If the main event of the show was X Pac versus Bradshaw." Like, no, it wasn't. The main event was Austin and
From Scott's Blog of Doom.
yeah, it was Scott's Blog of Doom. I'm sure Scott's Blog of Doom would tell you that the main event of this show is John Cena versus the
Well,
FBI in a handicap match, which
I can
no,
tell
it's
you that
not.
he wasn't very happy. It was that Bradshaw was getting a push over Booker T.
Oh well, we know that. Yeah, that we were that's another one. Those 411 Mania reviews. We were talking about one of them in the last episode. Like, oh, how dare this Booker T Eddie Guerrero feud could have been awesome, and now they're throwing JBL and they're like, get out of here. Come
If
on,
they weren't saying JBL, they were saying Bradshaw.
Bradshaw, but still same guy. Uh, but
I mean, they're fundamentally the same person.
yeah,
That's like saying the
um,
American Badass Undertaker and Deadman Undertaker are the same person.
is
They
portrayed
kind
by
of
the
are.
same person. Yeah, portrayed by the same person. Yeah.
They kind of are, but I don't think you'd ever see them interact. I don't think you'd see this JBL interact with corporate 2002 Bradshaw.
Yeah. Well, this feud, JBL and Eddie Guerrero, was much better than whatever we would have got at a Eddie Guerrero versus Booker T. It's just the heel JBL fit the character, the babyface character of Eddie Guerrero, and one of my most favorite moments of this whole feud actually takes place at the very end of this show. Like I said, this show ends on a segment, so don't tell Scott's blog of doom of that. No, oh no, we're ending a weekly show on a segment. Ugh. But anyway, yeah,
Then another segment.
one of my favorite moments in the Eddie Guerrero JBL feud, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of this was a tremendous feud to in for SmackDown in '04. It's one of the best feuds in WWE history, in my opinion. But yeah, we got that coming up later on in the show. But Tro, how you doing?
The sports teams that I root for are doing dog shit, but you know what? Next Friday, things can change.
One of
Because we
mine.
can.
Well, I don't know because one of my favorite sports teams is currently in first place, and the other one is currently about to win a championship. So I'm doing. But I thought we both root for the same team, but at least in
I mean,
baseball. So I
a
don't know
five game
which.
losing streak is a 5 game
A
losing streak. It ain't
five
fun.
game losing streak, a five. It's not fun, obviously not. But losing streaks are a part of a 162 game season. We're still in first place. We got beat by a very underrated Rays team. Everybody always writes the Rays
Well,
off.
we just don't play good. We also just play very shitty against the Rays just normally.
Yeah, well, the Rays are
Good,
of
good
greater.
or bad, the Rays always beat us.
Yeah, well, they're good right now. They're one of the smartest organizations in all of baseball. Um,
Yep.
and I'm more frustrated about losing to the Braves because while I still believe the Braves are a great team, and I don't think their record speaks for who they are as a team, I think
Yeah,
they're
they're bad.
much better. Yeah, I think they're much better than their record says. You got
They're
to
going
be.
to win the division.
They're not going to. I don't know if they're going to win the division being 13 games back, but I definitely think they're going to make the playoffs. But you have to beat them when you have them down. And right now the Mets are not doing that. No
Yeah,
spoilers. No spoilers on the current game.
everyone thought that Pete Alonso hitting that Francisco Lindor hitting that home run in Game 161 would have beaten
That
would have
was
beaten all the demons there. Like, oh, we finally did it. We got past the land of this curse. Like,
but
nope.
again, they're
Bullpen is still bullpen.
they're still in first place. I'm not worried about it just
Chris
yet.
Chris Sale is still Chris Sale. Wherever the hell we faced yesterday.
Yeah,
But
but
at least we got the Highlanders
yeah,
next
number
week.
one overall pick. I can't
We're
fucking wait.
gonna draft Schaefer and send Dobson on his fucking
They're not
candy
gonna
ass
trade.
to
They're not trading Dobson. Dobson ain't going
Mister
nowhere.
Mister. I want $11 million for doing jack shit.
He doesn't do jack shit. He does way more than just jack
And
shit.
you
I'll
know
tell you
what?
that.
Schaefer's gonna fix everything because we're gonna draft Schaefer number one overall,
We're
and
gonna
then when
have
it
both
comes to number
Schaefer and Dobson. We're gonna have both Schaefer and Dobson.
and when
And
time comes at number 4 or number 3, there Gary Bettman gonna come out and say
I
we
hope
have a
so.
trade announced. The Islanders have traded so and so ship player for the 4th overall pick, and with that we pick Jack Higgins.
Jake
And
Higgins,
I can
which
Jake Higgins, and I can tell you they're gonna have the cameras on it probably at the freaking watch party.
yeah,
The reaction to obviously Schaefer's gonna be hell yeah, let's go. But the police could erupt if we draft Higgins as well, because that's a Long Island kid who wants to be here, not a Toronto kid who wants to play for the Leafs.
I personally want Misa because it seems like he's the better
We're not
player
doing
of
this.
the three. But I will not be mad if we draft
We're,
Schaefer.
we're
And
not.
if we do turn out and somehow are able to make a deal to get back into either the
I
top
mean,
five and get Higgins, you're getting potentially
it's not that
two
crazy
of the
thing.
best three. It isn't. No, I know. You're
No,
potentially getting two of the three best players in the draft. And
because
Higgins, go ahead, go ahead.
because Higgins' stock keeps him trying to kind of drop him just a little bit.
I was gonna say,
But you can either pick because he's not gonna be number 2 overall. I think the prevailing thought right now is he probably could go number 3 or 4.
hmm,
You would take you can either take the chance of trading with Chicago and like not risking him being taken by Chicago,
right,
or you can be like, okay, well the Mammoth, because Chicago's probably going to ask. Chicago might ask for a little bit more than what the Mammoth
yeah,
would be asking. Realistically, we're gonna probably trade away Pajot and maybe a
yes,
prospect in the AHL.
yeah.
But
You
for
might have
Higgins,
to. You might have to throw in. You might have to throw in a pick there too, prospect pick and Pajot. I don't know.
yeah, you can give him a second rounder or a third rounder
Yeah,
down the
yeah,
line.
absolutely, absolutely.
As as long as we get Higgins,
See,
please.
the thing is, Hagen's draft stock is falling, but a big reason. There's a couple of reasons why it's falling. Obviously, he at one point not too long ago was viewed as the best prospect in this
Yes.
draft. That he fell out of that spot. Yes, Schaefer's play had a lot to do with it, but Hagen's himself had a line that he just didn't have chemistry with. They weren't good
Yeah.
enough, and that whole line just wasn't doing anything. But another thing that has his draft stock falling, and now he's fallen out of the top three, is because he keeps saying, "I want to play for the Islanders. I want to play for the Islanders," and nobody's gonna waste a top three pick on a guy who's saying he wants
But
to play over here.
he's also said he'll be happy wherever he goes.
Yeah, yeah, but that's
Like
that's what
I'm sure if Tavares said, "I want to play for the Leafs. I want to play for the Leafs. I want to play for the
was
Leafs."
still
Like
drafting.
kind of like Schaefer's kind of pretty much is kind of acting like, "Oh, I grew up a Leaf fan," and everyone's like, "Red alert! Red alert! Red alert!" But he's also like kind of friendly with, I guess, a former Ranger prospect, and everyone's like, "Oh no!" But Schaefer is far and away the best. Like
Absolutely. I don't
I'm
know
not a
if
big
he's far.
I'm
I
not.
don't know. I don't know if he's far in a way
Well,
because
he's the
again,
best pick for
Misa.
us because we need Misa's good, but we need defense. If you're drafting Misa, then you're not drafting Higgins. Not even making 10 for Higgins. I mean, and that's also a big fumble because then because our defense needs help. And if
Yeah,
Schaefer is as good as he's advertised, that's
yeah.
hell. That'd be that. I'm not saying he's not going to be Dennis Potvin, obviously.
No.
He's not having the 70s picks that we got defenseman wise. But people are saying like, oh well, you drafted defenseman. There you go.
And the detractors towards Schaefer are talking about like he's injury prone. The dude got one
Yeah,
injury
that it.
where he went a little too hard into the net and hurt himself there. That's one injury. That doesn't make you injury
What
prone.
one issue with Higgins is that he apparently he is kind of small.
I
Which
can live with that. Just because you're small
yeah,
doesn't
but you
mean
see
you're not skilled.
the kind of issue with Higgins with being small is that we don't have a lot of people who would be able to make sure he doesn't get his fucking clock cleaned by Tom Wilson or some other dirty ass fucking player out there.
Well, sadly, Matt Martin and Cal Clutterbuck are now
Oh,
essentially
thank God,
retired. I wouldn't say
thank
thank God on that.
God, good
You want
good
those
riddance
are
to
the
Martin.
guys. Those are the guys you want if you want somebody protecting
Good
them.
riddance to Martin.
No, one of the greatest.
Enjoy your next two kids, buddy.
No, one of that. I don't know how anybody can be an Islander fan and talk about Matt Martin like that.
You know,
Dude gave his all to this organization,
you
and
know,
Cal Clutterbuck as well.
it I joked about it with somebody else, and I said, imagine if they have Pajot at the draft party, but like
Yeah.
midway, but right before like the first pick, he gets a phone call. Sorry, buddy, we're trading. you gotta you gotta get it. Go to Utah, and then like from like the shadows, like, and you're being replaced by Higgins.
Yeah.
Just
So
confetti.
so here we are. We are on the April 1st, 2004 edition of SmackDown, and I, for the second time in two straight road twos, I've screwed up the thumbnail because the thumbnail I originally went.
You fucked up.
So I changed that, and that same thumbnail will be used next week. So yeah, I was able to recognize
Frank
that
just keeps
before.
on fucking up, folks.
I was able to recognize it before we went live. So no harm, no foul.
This is why he's not doing the draft announcement at the draft for the Islanders, because he'd probably draft some random ass. He'd draft like Shafter first overall.
It's on Google though. When you search the date of a show and pictures from different shows show up, that's on Google. So, but the last time I did that, I have not changed that Hogan Triple H picture, which I thought was from the tag match, and turned out it was actually from Backlash. I never
I
changed
told
that.
you it was from Backlash.
Yeah. I originally thought it was from Backlash, but when the picture showed up when I googled the show, and then they did a similar thing in the during the entrances of the tag match, I'm like, oh, this is where it's from. And then we watch Backlash, it's like, no, this is from Backlash. It's like, but I have not found like a thumbnail to replace that with. So that is currently the one show that has a incorrect thumbnail. I make sure
So
to have thumbnails from the actual show represented. And I don't want like a thumbnail from the wrong show. Well, we have one because I really cannot find a better thumbnail for that show. So I don't know. But
the moral of the story is listen to Tro.
anyway, April 1st, 2004, SmackDown, we kick off the show with Kurt Angle in the ring, and he says he has made the ultimate sacrifice, setting aside his career and championship aspirations to become general manager of SmackDown. And he not only did it for the greater good of the show, but he also did it for all the fans. Angle says he can't do it alone, though. So tonight he's looking for someone special, someone who is a great American, someone who has what it takes to win this. And the whole time there's a blanket covering something in the ring. He obviously pulls the blanket up to reveal the Kurt Angle Great American
Oh,
Award, and he announces that tonight we are going to have a tournament. As if we
ooh,
didn't just have a
your
gauntlet
favorite.
yeah, we didn't just have a damn gauntlet 2 weeks ago that covered like the whole second half of that show. Tonight we're gonna have a gauntlet that pretty much covers the whole damn show. So the winner of the match of their matches in this tournament. This isn't a tournament where you beat someone, you move on in the tournament. If you win the tournament, if you win a match, I'll explain that right here. The winner of the match gets a nomination for the award. So you win, you move on to the nomination part of this tournament. And he says that the tournament starts now, and that is when Big Show comes out. Big Show walks up to the ring. Kurt Angle's leaving the ring, so they have that little stare down at the near the ring.
I'm gonna throw you all. I'm gonna kill you in about 3 weeks, there, Kurt.
Not like that type of stare down. I think Big Show isn't Big Show still a heel here. Well, actually, he was a heel when he chokeslammed Angle up. So it was a stare down, but it wasn't like we're gonna do something with each other in a few weeks type of stare down. It's just they're walking.
I'm gonna kill you with a.
They're walking by each other, so there needs to be some type of interaction. I guess that's why we got that. The opening segment, this didn't really have much going on. It's just the announcement of the Great American Tournament. I can't necessarily sit here and say it was a special opening. It's just, here's what we're doing tonight. A little, and normally, obviously, that is what opening segments are about. Is like, here's what we're doing tonight. But normally, there's something going on, like somebody interrupts and blah blah blah. This just was Great American Award tonight, and that's really it. Not that Angle was bad here. It's just it wasn't nothing special to this opening segment. What are your thoughts? As he freezes up, damn it. Okay, hang on a minute. Oh, there you are. Oh. Sort of.
Come on.
Yeah. Just as we start getting into the show, Tro's Wi-Fi is jumping off a bridge. All right, we'll see if Tro gets back soon. Oh, he's back. Okay. All right. So thoughts on the
Big Show chokeslammed my my Wi-Fi router, destroyed it.
He chokeslammed it off a ledge.
My dad died.
No, you said my dad jumped off a bridge. So I thought that you were saying my dad jumped off a bridge. I'm like, what? The
show must go on.
Yeah, for anybody who has no idea what we're talking about, that goes way back. That's like a couple episodes ago, a couple months ago. But yeah,
the worst episode I've ever done. The most frantic, fucking painful experience of my life. I thought the segment was fun. Thought it was fine. Unfortunately, Kurt reveals a trophy, which, if you know professional wrestling, trophies are not long for the world of professional wrestling. Right. They literally make them just so they can be destroyed, either the next night or the night of.
Yeah, this trophy's life definitely is a little longer than most because this doesn't die night of. Because spoiler alert, we do not have the winner announced at the end of the show. The winner, again, spoiler, will be announced next week, and we'll see when we get to next week's show. Maybe tomorrow night.
Do the fans get to vote?
Yeah, but obviously,
right. They're gonna get Ryan Seacrest to come out next Thursday night SmackDown, and the next American Great American Hero is gonna be revealed after this break.
But obviously, with Kurt Angle being your heel GM, that's not necessarily what happens in terms of fans voting. Big Show to start off this tournament is taking on Rikishi. And obviously, I think we know who's going to win this one. Big Show gets it with a choke slam. Not much of a match to say here. Big Show gets his nomination, and I give this about 1 star. What are your thoughts on the opening match here?
I think Rikishi's gonna have a big hissy fit about the writers, like he did recently.
Maybe, I don't know.
But I thought it was fine. It was a fine match.
And now we have a debut. A debut
Ooh.
here as JBL arrives to the arena, but he doesn't just arrive to in the arena because he is driving in the, or at least he's being driven in the infamous limo. The limo with the long horns on it makes its debut here. J- JBL comes out of the limo as well as, well, the limo driver gets out first and obviously opens the door for him. And JBL berates the limo driver,
Oh,
saying, "Where did you learn to drive?" And just throws out all these countries where maybe he learned to drive. And
Honduras, Mexico,
yeah,
Guam,
yeah.
Brazil, Canada.
The driver responds to him in Spanish, to which JBL tells him the also horrible response. Here in the WWE, this makes JBL a great heel as he tells the driver to speak English. We speak English in America. I do not condone, no, I do not condone telling that to people, but I do condone a heel on a television show telling that to people, because if he didn't, why is he the
JBL was
heel?
just ahead of the time. What can I say?
Oh my goodness.
He
Thoughts
would
on,
if this was JBL was doing this shit today,
yeah,
he'd be saying, "I'm gonna call ass on your ass."
he'd be the biggest heel in the business right
He'd have freak out. He'd have like ice guards, like
now. Oh
people
my god.
pretending to be ice as a security guards, beating people up.
Wow. Yeah,
Well, what's called MJF the other night was almost attacked at his hotel
really?
in
Why?
Mexico
Why?
because
What did he do?
he unmasked a Mexican wrestler
Oh
and then
wow.
wore his mask,
Yeah, people in
and
Mexico
that's kind of
take,
like a that's kind of, you don't do that in Mexico.
yeah, Mexican wrestling fans take it way too seriously, I swear. But yeah. Thoughts on, normally we don't give thoughts on earlier tonight's things, but this is JBL and
Is
his
this the
character. But
is this the
thoughts on this?
same limousine driver from the July episode?
I'd have to look back.
I wonder. I don't think. I think they just rent. I think they just rent limousines.
I would think. I don't know. Um, so now we. Oh yeah, thoughts on JBL here with the limo driver. When you can. Yeah, go ahead.
I thought it was. I thought it was fine.
Yeah. Now we have Rey Mysterio and Spike Dudley taking on Chavo
Ooh,
Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero Sr. He is not
ooh.
Chavo Classic just yet, but this is
This is
where. Go ahead.
this is kind of a big match because you know what debuts here.
Who or what?
Ooh,
Oh yes,
Chavo. Dun,
that's right.
dun, dun.
We have
Chavo Guerrero.
we have two big debuts in back-to-back segments here: the limo and the Ooh Chavo theme song. How about that?
Well, to be fair, this is
And
version one, where you can
yeah,
actually there's like a very slight difference, but
yeah,
it's nice to see the debut of his most iconic theme.
yeah, absolutely. So this is obviously they are slowly building to the boss, Spike Dudley, and this is what this match was obviously for. Spike ends up getting the pin on Chavo Jr., who is the cruiserweight champion at this time. So that obviously puts Spike in the cruiserweight title picture. After the match, as Rey Mysterio and Spike Dudley are celebrating their victory, JBL comes out, attacks Rey Mysterio,
Yeah.
and attacks Spike Dudley. This is really just JBL attacking Rey Mysterio. Spike Dudley was just in the ring. Is
No.
with the story that they're going for, he's attacking Rey Mysterio.
No. Well, why do you say that? He says he doesn't like any immigrant. Spike Dudley's from
Spike Dudley?
Dudleyville.
Well, yeah.
We don't know where Dudleyville is. That could be anywhere.
I guess so. Maybe.
I mean, Bubba has a Brooklyn accent, but he could be maybe he's Canadian Brooklyn. We don't know where Dudleyville is. It could be anywhere. Go back to Dudleyville and give another.
The match itself, again, there really wasn't a like standout great match on this show, and that makes the show that they're going with an even bigger problem because this show was filled with matches. I give tag match 1 star. Obviously, again, they're building towards Spike becoming the boss, which we really don't get that until the summertime.
Yes.
But what are your thoughts on Spike getting a pinfall victory over the cruiserweight champ?
Well, we have face Spike here still, so
Yes.
he's
But
not turned heel yet.
Remember though, last week the seeds were planted and Michael Cole and Taz sat there and ignored it. But Spike Dudley was berating the Dudleys after that little match last week. Was like, you guys didn't do nothing, blah blah blah. You know, and Cole and Taz are going off about something that was happening later on in the night. So
And then
not a
after
great.
Judgment Day, they stuff Spike in the locker, do a storyline with Paul Heyman, and then take him out of the locker room after Great American Bash.
Yeah. Great American Bash 04 is a show in the archives, as well as the aforementioned July episode you were talking about. That would be the July 10th, 2004 episode.
One of the best episodes we ever did.
Yeah, that is in the archives. We've done that episode. Me and Tro both did that episode. Me and Christian did the Great American Bash 04. But as I've said before,
separately.
Yeah, as I've said before, a road to Great American Bash 04, including another Great American Bash 04 review. This time, just me and Tro. That could be in the future, but not. We're not planning on it anytime soon.
No,
could be in the future.
For
Yeah. The July 10th 04 SmackDown will be skipped since you and I both have covered that. Like, you did not cover Great American Bash. I kind of didn't get everything I wanted to get out of our Great American Bash review because I was being rushed. So I definitely want to redo that review. So this is okay. So did you give your thoughts on the tag match?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have another contender nomination match, if you will, for this tournament here. Rob Van Dam taking on Charlie Haas. And this match ends in a double countout. And that is when your general manager comes out and says the next best thing to do. This is SmackDown where we get winners. So the next best thing to do after a double countout is to count the match on points. And he gives the match to Charlie Haas. I thought this was
I didn't tell you about the points.
Yeah. He didn't say anything about the points, so he didn't give any reasoning as to why Haas won on points.
Apparently this was contested under Duchess of Queenberry.
That's right, yeah. That was Backlash 2001. That was such a hilarious match.
Paul Heyman acted like he knew all the rules.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't tell you about the points.
Heyman was awesome, man. Heyman was awesome in that match. That match itself too was just super entertaining. I do like that Charlie Haas gets included here because it gives the fans a bit of a thought, like okay, Kurt Angle and Charlie Haas used to be Team Angle together, so could this be, especially the way it happens here, where Angle awards the nomination to Charlie Haas because Haas won on points, but he doesn't explain how that's, how that's true. So now
Well,
it's got you thinking, Charlie Haas, Kurt
hmm,
Angle, they used to work together. Would it be Charlie Haas? Obviously, Eddie Guerrero, Charlie Haas for the WWE title at Judgment Day. Which, by the way, I failed to mention that the winner also of this trophy also gets a number one contenders shot. Angle didn't say Judgment Day, but obviously it's the
yeah.
next SmackDown pay per view. We all know Charlie Haas and Eddie Guerrero aren't facing each other at Judgment Day,
What?
but it does
Spoilers.
there it does put that in the back of your head. You know the history between Angle and
Well,
Haas. Maybe that's what's going on here.
I think they also just threw Charlie Haas a bone because they had just booked Shelton to beat Triple H clean on the Raw before this. So
We will be
they're
getting
kind
to
of like,
this.
oh, yeah. They're kind of like, oh, well, Shelton just did this. Hey, Charlie, here you go. Here's a bone before we bury you 6 feet under.
So the match itself, I would give this 2.5. This is probably the best match on the show, which is not saying much. 2.5 stars.
No, Charlie Haas match gets the best match of the night. That's crazy.
Um,
A
well,
single Charlie
when it
Haas
was yeah,
match,
when
too,
a
by the
single
way.
when it was Team Angle, great world's greatest
Yes.
tag team, that wouldn't be that much of a
I
surprise.
think that might be the first time ever, and probably the only time ever that a Charlie Haas match gets the best match of the night.
Um, thoughts on RVD versus Charlie Haas, and
I thought it was good. RVD is very good. Charlie Haas is pretty decent. So I found it funny that Kurt, Kurt just doesn't. I guess he has kind of hold something against RVD,
yeah,
but RVD is also like major
but
face,
he
and
traded for RVD.
Charlie also hasn't. Charlie also isn't like major face. Isn't a major
Yeah.
face yet. I don't think he's a face yet, really.
No, he's a heel still at this point. I would
So
think.
it makes more sense that Kurt would favor the heel.
I
But
mean,
he also, but
In the Rico Charlie Haas tag team, excuse me, Charlie Haas was the heel. Like he didn't
yeah,
like what was going on there. So Charlie's still a heel here. I
yeah,
think it was within that tag team that Charlie ultimately became a babyface. Where it's like, okay, I kind of fuck with this Rico guy now, you know. I see he's a cool dude. Sort of
and
that.
on Kurt trading for Booker T and RVD, I think it was just a package deal. Like I don't think he exactly wanted RVD, but Bischoff was
Right.
probably like, oh well, you can only take them both. I don't want deal.
Yeah.
One, no deal. It's a deal breaker. Take them for both.
Now we have a recap of last week's events that involved JBL. JBL obviously doing his promo on why he attacked Eddie Guerrero, and that memorable promo and everything else that JBL was involved with that night. Now we have an earlier tonight recap of everything that's happened with JBL this week so far, which is literally essentially just recapping a prior earlier tonight with JBL and his limo, which that was kind of funny. Earlier tonight,
It's earlier tonight. Inception.
yeah. Now we have Booker T and Kurt Angle backstage. Angle tells Booker he wouldn't have traded Triple H away if he didn't believe in Booker's talents. Let's rewind now back to last week because Kurt Angle said that he traded Triple H as essentially a power move, where Triple H said, "Give me a rematch against Eddie Guerrero for the title." And Kurt Angle was like, "I'm not going to be like Paul Heyman. I'm not going to let the inmates run the asylum. I'm trading you." But now here he's telling Booker T, "Oh, I traded Triple H because of your talents." It's a heel move,
Uh,
obviously, but it's kind of
yeah,
funny. It's like you told us you traded Triple H because he wanted a title match and you weren't going to let the inmates run the asylum. Now you're telling Booker T that Booker T's talents are the reason you traded Triple H. But he asked Booker T, what can he do to make Booker T happy? Again, this is Booker T. I don't want to be on SmackDown. SmackDown's the minor leagues. Raw loved me. Raw fans love me. I belong on Raw. So,
I hate it here. This place
yeah.
sucks. He reminds me of Juan Soto who just hates being on the Mets.
Well,
Just
Booker
miserable.
Booker T says he gets no respect around here. He says the fans booed him last week, which was for the first time ever. Booker T was
What?
a heel. Booker T was a heel when he first got here in the invasion angle.
The invasion is not canon anymore, Frank. What are you talking about? That didn't happen.
Um, he says he jumped Eddie Guerrero, or no, excuse me, Eddie Guerrero jumped him for no reason, and just because of what he said. And he says what he told Eddie was true. Eddie is a minor league player. If WCW was around and Booker T was the WCW champ and Eddie's the undisputed champ, then at least he'd have some say in being a legitimate champion. I guess he's trying to say because the I don't know what he meant by that because now by saying that you're putting down Raw, and you're supposed to love Raw, and that's why you don't want to be on SmackDown. So I don't know what he meant by that. Saying Eddie would have been a better champ if WCW was still around and Booker was WCW champ. But anyway, Angle put at the end of the segment, Angle puts Booker T in the tournament, and he says that his opponent will be the guy who he ran into late into last week's SmackDown episode, and that was Hardcore Holly. And he
How
says
do you like me now?
that match will be up next. This was a good segment. I like what they're doing with Booker T here, not wanting to be on SmackDown. He wished he was still on Raw. I thought that was good. For a heel, obviously, a heel's not. He'll not liking the fans. He'll not liking the show he's on. That's fine. What are your thoughts on? And it also gives credence to, like I said, when Haas got his win, and got his nomination. They have history. You think maybe he's going to give the award to Charlie Haas. Well, now there's credence to, well, maybe he'll give it to Booker T because, for one, he traded for Booker T. He he wants Booker T to be happy. He understands why Booker T hates this place. So you got a little credence here. There's two guys who legitimately could see getting this, and at least in Booker T's end, it would make a little more sense having Eddie Guerrero versus Booker T at Judgment Day than Charlie Haas versus Eddie Guerrero. Um, your thoughts on this backstage segment here with Kurt Angle and Booker T?
I thought it was good. Kurt and Booker have decent chemistry with each other backstage, and it sets up Booker T's next match.
Yep.
Which by the way, like whenever they book these matches like on the fly, I always wonder like, so you just didn't have like another match? You just didn't like what was your show sheet there, Kurt?
Yeah.
Match, segment. Shit, we don't have anything for the next 5 minutes.
There's no segment here. It's just match on most of this show. But anyway, pretty cool moment here. We have a video package of the WWE being given the USO Legacy of Hope Award. This
The
award,
USO?
Yeah, USO Legacy of Hope Award.
USO?
Not USO. No. The award was in the name of Bob Hope. And this was at the Ritz-Carlton in Washington, D.C. Mick Foley and Linda McMahon were on hand for this. They show them talking during the video package. But a cool moment there. And I looked this up. I think this was the first time they gave this award away. I saw something that said 2004 was the first time the Legacy of Hope Award was awarded. So WWE is your first recipient.
I can't believe they didn't give it to Rikichi.
Yeah, well,
his son. They named the award after his sons.
USO, not USO.
USO.
But it makes
I'm gonna back my ass up on that award.
It makes sense with this award being given away in late March of 04. This is the April 1st SmackDown, but it said that this took place last week, so obviously this would be late March 04. It makes sense because this is still just a couple of months coming off Tribute to the Troops, which was referenced in the video package. So I get it.
First of all, Then McMahon in 2004. Oof. But this is also, I was half expecting Randy Orton to come out of nowhere. And Edge Orton just starts kicking Foley's ass
Oh yeah.
at the UFO award. Bro, come on, fight me at Backlash. I don't want it. I don't want it.
I think the backlash match would have been announced at this time, wouldn't it? Or maybe not.
Maybe.
I know they were doing that. That was the story where
Yeah.
like Randy Orton would get in his face and he like spat in his face. It was like fight me. But that had been building up since
Yeah.
like the end of '03. Like when
Well, they had
he's
their WrestleMania match.
yeah, obviously. But that was
And,
a 3-on-2 handicap.
yeah. The most
Um
forgotten Rock Mania match ever.
yeah. When he spit in Foley's face, like backstage, that was like December of '03, and then obviously,
Yeah.
Foley showed up at the Royal Rumble, eliminated Randy Orton and himself. So yeah, I'm not sure if the match was announced yet. It
Well,
should be if it's April 1st at this point.
yeah. Probably at this point. Or Foley's probably like, Randy, I've lost a lot of weight. I really want to try. I really want to have this great match with you at Backlash.
And now we
I'm gonna
have
make you. I'm gonna make you look like a star. You just have to go through some text, buddy.
and now we have the other match in running for match of the night. And again, when you factor in the fact that this show has a ton of matches and not a lot of segments, it is not a good thing that this is your runner. You're in the running for match of the night. Booker T taking on Hardcore Holly. Winner gets a nomination for the Great American Award. Um, the train wants its nomination for the Great American
I
Award.
mean, oh my god, I can't believe it. A-Train is interfering. He wants he wants his nomination.
Bo-
Oh my god, he just hit the derailleur on Hardcore Holly. Oh no.
Booker T gets the win with a roll up, holding the tights, cheating to win. I give this match 2.5. Again, nothing really special, but compare it to the other matches, and again, there were way too many matches for a freaking weekly show on this show, and not enough segments. But when you compare it to the other matches, this is one of the best matches on the card here. But
How do you like my now?
thoughts on Booker T getting his nomination, cheating to win.
How do you like my now? Hold on, every time a train wants to blow his fucking horn.
A-Train doing the running.
A-Train. Lord Tensai. Prince Albert. Hip Hop Hippo. Hip Hop
Hip Hop Hippo was on the last road
Yeah.
where he no longer was the Hip Hop Hippo.
We saw that in real time. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a fun match. Hardcore Holly has really fallen off since his little feud with He Who Shall Not Be Named anymore in WWE.
And he only got that feud because he got injured. It's literally the only reason.
I sandbagged Brock and then it broke my neck, and then I got the storyline out of it.
I mean, hey, anything you can make a storyline out of, I get it, but
And now I'm
Hardcore
gonna take my anger out on this Matt Capitelli person.
Hardcore Holly should not be in no main event pay-per-view matches. I mean, it's Royal Rumble.
Plug.
It's Royal Rumble, so you got two big matches of the Rumble match and Triple H Shawn Michaels, but my goodness, Hardcore Holly in a WWE title match. And I was not even 2004. It's like any year. That's weird in any year.
You're gonna be scared of me, boy. You're gonna be scared of me, Brock. I'm crazy enough. They were the only world title match that night that got an actual finish.
Yeah, because the Triple H and Shawn ended in double countout, but that was building obviously towards the triple threat, so I understand that.
What if no? The reason why they did that, other than to build to WrestleMania, was we're in Philadelphia. Remember how the first Rocky movie ended on a double countout? Let's do that. Oh boy, the fans really seem to be really pissed off for some reason.
we continue this show that is just match after match with not that many segments with a random tag match. The Dudley Boys taking on Akio and the late great Sakota. Rest in peace to Sakota. Dudley's win this game. Win this game. Dudley's win this match with a 3D. Not much to talk
Pretty.
about. I give this 1 star. Why is this even on the show? No disrespect to any of the four uh, involved
Are you
here,
not
but
a fan of Jimmy Wang Yang?
Jimmy Wang
He's
Yang
a
was very entertaining, but he was not
he's
Jimmy
your
Wang.
boy.
He wasn't Jimmy Wang Yang yet, but yeah, this whole show has just random matches and fucking barely any segments. Thoughts on Dudley's versus Akil and Sakota?
Well, those people back there seem to really enjoy this match. I thought it was. I mean, it's cool to see Jimmy Wang Yang. I
Yeah,
mean, before we can. Like, think about this, man. He goes from being part of the Yakuza because he has Tajiri's on Raw now, and he's a face. So these guys don't have
yeah,
anything to do. He
right.
probably gets sent. He probably gets sent back to no OVW pretty soon.
Yeah,
Um, I thought it was fine. I mean, when you think of Jimmy Wang Yang's career trajectory, is he's part of the Yakuza, and then he's a Asian cowboy.
right. Um, we have Spike Dudley backstage. He's got ice on his neck from the JBL attack. Dudley boys walk in, ask him if he's okay. He says he's fine. That is when Theodore R. Long walks in. Remember last week he walked up to
Holla,
Rikishi.
holla, holla.
He walked up to Rikishi and Sky Tuhati, asked them if they were in need of managerial services, and then he handed them the player card. To which he would turn around to Josh Matthews, get ready to give him a player card, but then he said, "Player cards for players only." So now Teddy Long is doing the same thing here with the Dudleys. He asked them to let. He asked them if they need a manager. Let them know they don't have to answer right away. He gives Bubba a player card. He gives Devon a player card. He goes over to Spike and he's like, "Oh, Red just ran out." So again, this is interesting. We have Teddy Long looking for somebody who will be his manager, and obviously we know that that leads to Mark Jindrak becoming the
The
next Lex Luger,
reflection of
the
perfection.
reflection of perfection. And we probably will not see that much of Lex Luger on this
Nope.
road too, because Mark Jindrak was kept on velocity for the most part.
That's where
Now,
all the good stuff happens.
thoughts on Teddy Long and the Dudleys here with Spike Dudley?
I find it a little ironic. Yeah, the Teddy Long X Dudley's, hey, you need a manager? And Paul Heyman's probably somewhere in the back, like, oh, a manager, who you? I can
Yeah,
be your manager. I have
yeah.
this wonderful plan of kidnapping Paul Bearer.
So now we have the Raw Rebound. This is the first Raw Rebound ever. Another debut here of the Raw Rebound. This was obviously after the '04 draft. We did the Raw Rebound, and I forgot what Raw called for SmackDown. Was it just a SmackDown
Recap?
recap or rewind, something like that?
Probably the rewind.
Yeah. So we
That
have
sounds right.
Trish Stratus on the highlight reel. Triple H attacking Hurricane from behind when Hurricane was walking on stage, and he's saying that that was a message to the whole Raw locker room as they were laughing at him when they thought he was, and this is in Triple H's words, traded to SmackDown. He was not traded to SmackDown. He was drafted to SmackDown. But anyway, then they show Stone Cold Steve Austin getting in Shelton Benjamin's face because during Triple H's promo in this video package, they showed Triple H attacking other people, and one of them was Shelton Benjamin. And so Stone Cold says, "If I were you, I wouldn't take what Triple H did to you. You should go out to the ring and challenge him." And that's when we see highlights of the main event of the night, Triple H versus Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin getting the upset victory, which he would get 2 weeks in a row over Triple H. And that is your first ever
Now,
Raw rebound. Go ahead.
now, what's interesting is they have Austin here. I had thought that Austin's last appearance as the sheriff was at WrestleMania
So did I, honestly.
because he definitely does not show up much more in 2004
I
as the
thought
guy.
I thought that I've always remembered that match between Brock and Goldberg as the final
Yeah,
appearances until they obviously all returned, but the final appearances of Austin, Brock, and Goldberg. But
yeah.
apparently, Austin was on Raw just a few weeks after WrestleMania here. So
Because I don't think Austin. Once Austin sounded like doing a sheriff, which could have been like this Raw that we just saw in the rebound.
yeah,
I don't think he's back at all at 2004 until Trivial Troops, which is interesting because that would have been like signifying the end of his weekly character run. Because remember, from once he got back from his neck surgery, he was and once he came back from walking out,
yeah,
he was an every week character for
yep,
even when he got kayfabe fired, he was at least mentioned,
right.
and then he came back as the sheriff for a little bit.
Yes, thanks to Mick Foley's petition.
Yeah, petitions work sometimes. So I'll find out how good they work on Friday.
Yeah. We go back to JBL's limo. As I said, there were a lot of debuts. No actual wrestler or character debuts, just a limo debuting, a theme song debuting, and the Raw Rebound debuting. But we see JBL's
Great
limo.
debuts.
We see JBL's limo again. The limo driver is cleaning it, and that is when Eddie Guerrero pulls up in his lowrider, and he's getting to the show extremely late here. We have
Yeah.
one match and one segment literally to go on this show. But Eddie
Well, didn't
Guerrero,
Austin sometimes show up like in the last segment?
yeah, yeah.
Damn stuff.
So
I show up, I stun people, and I leave. Easy fucking major.
Eddie Guerrero, yeah, you're damn right. Eddie Guerrero drives up in the lowrider. He takes one look at the limo that says JBL on the door. He's looking at it like, what the hell is this? And he says what's up to the limo driver. He shows a hell of a lot more respect to the limo driver than JBL did. Um, and then he asks, who does this limo belong to? To which the limo driver says JBL. And Eddie Guerrero just responds, "Oh, Senor Bradshaw. Okay, all right." And then Eddie walks away. And now, well, thoughts on this? Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie goes up to the limousine driver. Oh, Holmes, you should learn English essay. Welcome to, welcome to America.
Eddie Guerrero turns heel and joins
He's like, I learned English essay.
the
You should learn English.
the border scene in a few weeks is both Bradshaw and Eddie with flashlights just chasing people away from
Bradshaw hits the clothesline from hell. And he hits the freaking three amigos and
Frogs. Yeah.
somebody. Frog splashed into the freaking water.
Oh my gosh. John Cena taking on the FBI. This is the final nomination match, the final match of this Great American Tournament. Rene Dupree was on commentary. He brought out Fifi,
With Fifi.
and Taz actually interviewed Fifi.
Yo, Fifi, what's up being a dog? Woof, woof. Cole actually speak dog. You do, Taz? Yeah. Woof, woof. He said that you fucking suck.
Well, the dog Fifi totally no sold the interview, didn't say a thing.
Very unprofessional.
And Michael Cole said, "What a shock! Taz is getting the cold shoulder from a dog." the only redeeming quality of this match here, John Cena gets the victory with the FU, which was what it was called back then. And then John Cena taunted Rene Dupree at the announce table. So the one big baby face who you would think has a chance at getting this award, but yet he's clearly feuding with someone else here. So
I think
I'm
the
just saying,
FBI should have won. The full-blooded Italians won the American. They can all a 3-on-1 handicap match against the Get
so
little
right.
get Nunzio there. Little Scampoli.
It was 2-on-1. I can't remember which two. It was like, was it Stumble? I don't
Probably
remember.
was Nunzio.
It was probably Nunzio and Stamboli. I don't know, but there's not much to say about this match. I give it 1 star. Your thoughts on Cena versus the FBI?
That was a very good trained. For Fifi's a very good trained dog because could you imagine if it started barking?
Yeah,
Just
right in the
yo,
mic.
cool. This dog's really saying, "Oh, can we get a dolly back for this?"
It's the second test. The second test puts the mic up to the dog. Dog just eats it. He destroys the
The
problem.
dog attacks Taz.
No,
Oh, I'm being attacked, Cole. I'm being attacked. I'm gonna put in the Taz machine.
he actually takes a bite out of the microphone, and all you see is Vince McMahon just walk down and actually be pissed off and berates the dog. Do you know how much that microphone is worth?
God damn it, pal. You'll never work in this business. He blames Brene Dupree.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
God
say.
damn it, pal.
He
You're a
fires
fucking bastard.
he fires Rene Dupree right in front of everybody. This segment would
You're
have
not
never
even French.
this would have never made air because obviously it was on SmackDown on Thursday night, pre-taped SmackDowns.
No, he'd probably say keep it in. I want him to be embarrassed.
So thoughts on John Cena versus the FBI? Did you give your thoughts to it?
It's fine. It was a fine match. The FBI's good jobber fodder.
We have Kurt Angle backstage. He's got the trophy in hand and one of the backstage workers standing right next to him. He says he's got all 4 Great American Great American nominations. Now he tells I guess we call him a stagehand. He tells the stagehand, "Go find Eddie Guerrero. Go tell him he is needed because I have a major announcement for him." And now we have your main event of the night, sponsored by Warner Brothers' new motion picture, The Whole 10 Yards, in theaters April 9th.
What?
Kurt
I've never
Angle,
heard of this movie.
it happened. They said it during RVD versus.
Wonder what it's about.
It's a remake of The Whole 9 Yards, I think.
The Whole 10 Yards.
Yeah.
It's just a movie about a foot. We have to get these last 10 yards. How are we going to do it? Run it.
So Kurt Angle says he's impressed with the SmackDown locker room. He says Triple H wouldn't have made it 5 seconds here. He says he's happy he traded Triple H. And he says the award winner will be announced next week. Oh boy. We did all this whole tournament just to find out we're going to get the winner next week. But at least
what an American Idol thing.
We have one redeeming segment for this show, and this is it right here. Angle says fans can vote on WWE.com. And Angle pretty much says Eddie Guerrero can't win this award because he's obviously number 1 contender.
Yeah.
I mean, he obviously can't be number 1 contender because he's a champion, but he also kind of starts talking about how Eddie Guerrero's not a great American and stuff like that. And that's when Eddie comes out. He rips the mic out of Kurt Angle's hands. Angle turns around and gets a new microphone. He tries to start talking, but Eddie just yells at him and interrupts him. And he says, Angle was also calling Kurt Angle. Angle was calling Eddie a threat. And so Eddie says, if I'm such a threat, then you should do something about it right now, right here, right now. Angle says he's not going to fight. because obviously he's the GM, but he is also something Eddie will never be, and that is responsible. Cole and Taz go, whoa. And
Whoa.
then Kurt Angle says he wants somebody who is responsible to come out. And he says it's the man who attacked you and clotheslined from hell you last week on SmackDown. And he also says that this man is the fifth nomination of the Great American Award, and that is JBL. The limo comes out. JBL pops out of the moon roof and walks on top of the limo, and he says he's honored to be nominated, even though he literally didn't do anything for it. He didn't win any tournament match. He wasn't in a tournament match, but he says that he's a shoe-in to win, and he says why. He talks about leaving Texas for New York, and he has earned everything he's ever gotten. And then he goes to Eddie Guerrero. He looks at Eddie Guerrero and tells him that last week was nothing personal. It was just business. JBL is an impactful player. He needs to make an impact. He also says the same thing with Rey Mysterio and Spike Dudley earlier tonight. It was nothing personal, but impact players got to make an impact. And
TNA. TNA.
he says he says that Eddie has something that JBL wants, and what JBL wants, JBL gets, and that is the WWE title. And he's going to take it from Eddie, and there's nothing Eddie can do about it. Eddie Guerrero goes back to the nothing personal thing, and he says, well, if it's nothing personal, then I'll make it personal. He runs down to the limo. JBL's trying to cower back in through the moon roof. Eddie gets on top of the limo, reaches into the moonroof, and comes out with the 10-gallon hat. He gets back into the ring, and let me see. He asks the fans, do they want to help him fill the 10-gallon hat? And that is when JBL starts getting mad. He's like, you give me the hat back right now. He says that hat's worth a lot of money. Eddie's wiping it with, how you would wipe, like it's toilet paper,
Yeah.
essentially. And then Eddie Guerrero goes around ringside, and this was just hilarious. I remember watching this when it happened. I was just loving this. And the fans are like pouring popcorn and soda and water into the 10-gallon. Some of them were spitting into it. And just JBL was selling it so perfectly, acting like they were like stealing his dog or something as he's watching this. And Eddie gets back in the ring, puts the 10-gallon on the mat, and stomps on it. JBL calls Eddie Guerrero a disgrace to America. Eddie responds with, no, JBL, you are the disgrace. Eddie then tells JBL to get to the ring, get back in the ring so he can kick his ass American style. And we go off the air with JBL telling Eddie he is going to pay for this. Michael Cole got the last word in pretty much, saying that Eddie just made it personal. This
Yeah.
segment is easily the segment of the night. There's just not much competition for it. And for match of the night, I mean, what do you want to go? RVD, Charlie Haas, or Booker T, Hardcore Holly?
You
Either
gotta, you
match.
have to give it to Charlie. You gotta give it to Charlie.
That is what
But
I'm going to.
when else is Charlie Haas in a single match ever going to get matched tonight?
That is what I'm going to give it to. But let me get to that first. Uh, there's nothing really match of the night worthy on this show, which is okay for a weekly show as long as there's a lot of segments. There was not a lot of segments on here. Um, uh, yeah, not hardcore. Charlie Haas and RVD is my match of the night. Segment of the night is the main segment with Eddie Guerrero, JBL, and Kurt Angle. Your match and segment of the night.
My match tonight is going to be Charlie Haas. Give it to Charlie. He's
Yeah,
never. He's never going to get opportunities again, I think.
Segment,
So that segment of that is the main event.
right?
And
Um,
obviously they're building to Charlie Haas versus Eddie Guerrero at Judgment Day.
Overall, man, I love '04 SmackDown. I love the ending of this show with Eddie Guerrero messing with the 10-gallon hat. And, JBL even saying at the end, you'll pay for this, Eddie. Obviously, when you hear that and the show's ending, you got to tune in next week. What does JBL mean by that? What is he going to do to get revenge? It's a great way to end the show. But everything else on the show, not much. So I give this a 5 out of 10. It's not really that great of a show. Tro, your overall out of 10.
I will give it a 7 out of 10.
Wow, 7. So
I,
you give
I
me
enjoyed that last segment. Last segment was good. I enjoyed seeing Fifi.
Feet that whole
Uh,
thing with Taz interviewing Fifi was hilarious.
and we had 2 debuts of the theme
3.
of Chavo's three debuts. We had the Raw
Rebound.
Rebound. We had Chavo's theme, and we had Limousine. Come on, what more could you possibly ask?
We could have had a lot more on this show. I'm just being honest.
Don't worry, next week will be yet another tournament. I'm sure.
I don't.
Welcome to Tournament Smackdown.
Um. So yeah, the rare occasion where Tro has a higher rating for the show than I do.
I think
Uh,
it's the second time it's happened during this road too.
yeah, the uh which um which show was it again?
It's
The
probably the
first
first
one.
one.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
first one with the
because you didn't look the outlets.
yeah, the gauntlet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one's I guess I'm the positive one now.
so our
I'm the
next
one blinded by nostalgia.
so our next episode will be the April 8th, 2004 SmackDown. That will be where Kurt Angle announces your Great American Award recipient.
I wonder who it is.
I wonder who it is, and we will know what our main event for Judgment Day is. That we are on the road to Judgment Day. We obviously already know. Everybody knows this is freaking 21 years ago.
Yeah,
But,
everyone
yeah,
remembers the bloodbath between Eddie Guerrero and Charlie Haas. Everyone remembers when Charlie Haas made Eddie Guerrero's mother have a heart attack.
how dare Charlie Haas not get the title match
And
instead of JBL?
Charlie Haas went to the border, and tried to scare off all the illegals. This is Charlie Haas's America,
Oh boy.
and then that just makes more of them come. Like, oh, it's Charlie Haas. That's fine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, our next show will be the April 1st, 2004 SmackDown. At the end of the
April
month,
8th.
April 8th, right? At the end of the month, we will have the Mets recap of the month of June, and
Yay.
obviously, I don't know what we're gonna do for the draft, but obviously the
Yeah,
Islanders
I don't
have.
know. What are we doing? Are you going to the draft party?
I might. I still thinking about it. I really do want to go, but I'll see about that.
Yeah. So here's the thing. As a season ticket holder, I think they're giving us dime club access,
Yeah,
which is lower bowl. That's for they're gonna have everyone there. Lower
yeah,
bowl.
yeah.
I don't think I'm pretty sure it's not. It's pretty sure it should be open seating for everyone else.
Uh-huh.
But obviously next week as it gets closer, if we are going, I can try to we can try to coordinate this a little bit. Not that
Right.
I would be too hard to find. I'm the guy in the week.
Yeah, yeah,
I think I might stick out.
yeah.
I might stick out just a little bit.
So we'll see what's happening.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Get a live reaction from
Oh
different stations
yeah.
so I
So
don't get kicked out.
yeah. So so not much to really say about this show. It just wasn't that great of
It
a SmackDown. Um,
it would have been better if JBL had come out
yeah,
during Renee Dupree and he's on commentary. Speak
yeah.
American, you mother. He he kicks from Renee and then kicks the dog. Oh my! Just even more heel. He's kicked a dog. It's a French dog.
SmackDown 2004, I will always say, is extremely underrated. But when you got shows like freaking gauntlet matches and tournament matches, that's why two of the first three shows on this road here are just decent to just not even good. But it's about to get better. We have the JBL Eddie Guerrero feud is in full effect now, so it is going to get real interesting from here on
Yeah,
out. Will we be doing a show tomorrow? Are we gonna go to the April 8th show tomorrow?
maybe.
So you will look out for that. We may be back here tomorrow night
Maybe.
to recap the April 8th, 2004 episode of SmackDown. It sounds like some of the people in the background are big fans of the April 1st,
Yeah,
2004.
we already have our own fan club. I mean, this is just what happens. I do shows outside, and now they get the whole cheering section. They were really into that that Akio match, tag team
Maybe
match.
maybe they loved our sponsor for tonight's main event segment, the whole 10 yards.
The
Maybe
whole
that's it.
everyone's favorite movie involving
In
that
theaters,
guy.
in theaters, April 9th.
Yeah, I can't. I'm sure it did a lot of numbers.
It's currently not on streaming, so that's not a good sign.
Well, that's not a good sign because if your movie's not on streaming,
But
then that must mean it must be shit.
it had you know who was in it? Matthew Perry was in it, and
Oh
Bruce
god.
Willis. Oh, Bruce
Oh
Willis was
god.
in it too.
Matthew,
Hey,
2004 Matthew Perry. Hey guys, I'm done doing I'm done doing Friends. Please take me seriously as an actor now, please.
we will not take any Friends actor
And
hate
and
on this.
and Bruce Willis in the twilight of his career.
Yeah,
Please give me something good to do.
this was as I said, it's just like Whole 9 Yards because it's the same cast of Whole 9 Yards. Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry.
What
Which
is the synopsis?
synopsis for Whole 10 Yards. After faking his death, former killer
Okay.
for hire, Jimmy the Tulip Tudusky, who is Bruce Willis, retires to Mexico with his new wife, Jill, played by Amanda Peet,
Speak English, motherfucker.
while his ex wife, Cynthia, played by Natasha Henstridge, settles down in California with Nicholas Oz Orzensky, who's Matthew Perry, Jimmy's old neighbor. The peaceful lives of both couples are interrupted, however, when Gogolak, played by Kevin Polak,
Not
a member,
Goldenlock,
a member of the Hungarian mafia and a
of
former
course.
associate of Jimmy's, seeks revenge by kidnapping Cynthia. And that
Damn.
is a whole 10 yard synopsis.
So it has nothing to do with football.
No, no.
But it has total 10 yards. It's football.
Well, the first one runs a whole 9 yards, so obviously that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with football. You don't get a first down for 9 yards.
What if it's a second and 9?
Well, yeah.
There you go. Checkmate. It can be second and 9. It can be third and 9. Hell, if it's late in the game, go fourth and 9. So, are you sure they don't play football in the end to determine like who gets to get his wife?
No. I have
Damn.
not seen the
This
movie.
is this
I,
name's the longest yard that was spies.
The whole 10 yards. Well, there you go. In theaters April 9th.
And that is the longest yard as a sequel to that.
The whole 10 yards, the longest yards. Yeah.
The longest yard.
What is the longest yard? 100?
The,
First and 100.
the, the 11th yard. The longest yard.
Oh, boy. Well, there you go.
There
So
you-
we will probably see you tomorrow night. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and hit the 10 bell salute on that on the notification bell. But make sure that you are notified after hitting all 10 times. Once you have finished
Yep.
hitting all 10 times. So thank you for everybody who's watched, and we will probably see you tomorrow.